Welcome back to the Freelance Network Podcast, everybody. A podcast by content creators for content creators. So I am Luke. I'm joined with my co-hosts, Will and Cassie. And
Hello.
then our guest, Meg the Geek.
What's up, guys?
This is a big deal, though, Meg, because we have not had 4 people on an episode yet. This is the first time we have
So
a
this is
4th.
like a milestone, right?
It is a milestone. Well, it's also episode 10, so it's double milestone.
Yes.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's our first one with this sign that was made by North.
Triple
Face
milestone.
Sign.
I'm feeling pretty honored right now.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I'm just excited because like we have always had to like kick somebody off every episode now,
Yeah.
but now we have all 3 of us and our guest on, which I'm very excited
You guys
about.
look a little cramped over there. You all right?
We're good.
We
Yeah.
work.
It's
we
okay.
work with what we have here.
Hey, I mean, this looks great. This is better than my setup at home. So
Better
Yeah.
than my setup too.
Yeah. Well.
at least I have a computer that works.
Ooh. No, so
Shots
this
some
is a
shade.
roasting episode now.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
you
right.
called me down here, so I deliver the goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start off by introducing Meg. Okay.
Dun,
So
dun, dun, dun.
Meg is one of my best friends. We met at Ocean County College when we went there together.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
OCCCC?
Community college.
Wait, am
Woo!
I allowed to curse on this?
No.
No. Okay. So I actually did not like Cassie when I met her. I'm not gonna lie.
I was
Oh,
gonna
me
bring
neither.
that up. Wow, Will, you want to explain?
Ooh.
No. Please move on.
I plead the fifth.
Anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Please talk about how you didn't like me. I would like.
Oh, I just didn't like the people you were with, and I just kind of like I judged a book by its cover, and I kind of just associated you with said people that shall remain nameless.
Yes.
But then I started watching Fuller House, and you joined in, and so Fuller House really brought us together.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look,
Everywhere
there's a heart.
is
a
a heart.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
just
No.
Karaoke hour.
I just think this
Well, I
whole
feel like
setup right here is just
because
gonna
of
be
the
a
mic,
karaoke
I'm
thing.
holding it. Like I'm used to just sitting, but now I'm just like I need to break out in a song,
Yeah.
but
no.
I won't.
Yeah, but back to the topic.
Oh yeah, this is a
'Cause
podcast.
yes, we have a guest.
We do.
Um.
Professionalism.
Yeah. No. I mean, I feel like a lot of people judge me by the people I hang out with, because like I'll hang out with anybody who's nice to me at that point. But I get it. I know exactly who you're talking about. and
Mhm.
I get it. It's fine. But no, we're
Hopefully
close.
they're not listening.
You really think that? No.
Okay, yeah, no.
No, they're not.
We
Big
don't. We
yikes.
don't need to get into tea.
No.
No. But yeah, so we've known each other for a while. She was able to, recommend me to get my freelance job
Yes,
that I work, which I very much appreciate because I love the extra cash.
cash is
But,
good.
Yeah. So, so we wanted to bring you on to the podcast because you pretty much developed this like online persona
Mm-hmm.
very quickly.
Yes.
Might I add? And you have a large following, and you are very, very good with marketing. So please explain what Meg the Geek is.
Okay, so for the longest time, like you follow my personal Instagram, so you would know. I would always combine like my geeky side, which is like all movies, video games, what have you, with my personal pictures, and I would always notice a difference in likes. Like my pictures, like with you or like my dog or something, would get a different set of likes than anything I post with movies. And I was getting really tired of blending the two because I felt like I didn't have a steady stream going on. And some people that I would meet at conventions, I didn't really want them to know me personally, and I liked having this alter ego. So one day I got bored, and I was like, Meg the Geek. So I started at the end of March, and it's just, that's maybe 9 months?
Yeah.
Almost 9 months?
Yeah.
And it's just blown up since then.
Yeah. No, it has, because like you literally, I feel like you just made this Instagram
Right?
account.
It feels like yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we have a problem with the gain.
Right before we started recording the episode, I told Will to not mess with it, and
He
I was
messed with
right.
it.
That's what I'm gonna say. Is I was right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
Meg, keep
Yes.
telling us about what you do because I am genuinely fascinated.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sorry about the audio distraction.
thanks, Will.
I'm just
This is
grilled right
this
now.
is the roast Will episode. I love it.
So if I don't get called back, I know why. Okay, so obviously, like, I collect movies, I collect video games, so like I also play and watch them. I also go to like, oh god, so many different conventions. I just recently got it's not official yet, but like unofficial. I got invited to be an MC for a convention next year. So I get to
awesome.
fly out in Georgia
That's
again.
dope.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'll talk more about that later. No, just kind of just living the geek life. I get to interview celebrities. It's a dream.
Yeah. And you found that since you made like a private, like, you know, it will separate Instagram for that
An
purpose.
alter ego.
An alter ego. Your likes have changed and everything.
Yes. I mean, like I said, I've had this page not about 8-9 months. I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Instagram. Facebook and Twitter are kind of struggling a bit, but I just hit 100 on YouTube, so I finally got that custom URL.
Congrats.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you always want because you want that custom URL, and you're always afraid somebody's gonna beat you to it.
Yeah.
That is
So,
very true. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So like all of it's the same except for my email, and that pissed me off.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
But for the most part, so I'll plug it right because I'm gonna make a lower third for you. But
Go ahead.
You can follow her at Meg the Geek on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
YouTube.
Anything else we're forgetting?
YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then on Meg the Geek, like the YouTube page, you kind of just like, because I mean, you would buy this stuff anyways, right? Like the
Yeah.
movies. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
kind of just turning it into content, which is pretty cool. Like,
Right.
I would be doing this, but may as well record it, right?
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
not so much on that. Like no, I mean, I know you follow some movie collectors, so I'm sure you know, like, at the end of the year, people usually do, like, their top 10 of the year.
Yep.
Well, since we're at the end of a decade, I want to do the top 10 of the decade.
Oof.
Not, like, what everybody's opinion is, but, like, my favorite.
Like just personal enjoyment.
Right. So, like, my favorite from 2010, 2011, 2012, just because it's way too hard otherwise.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I like that.
Yeah, and, like, my movie room downstairs, I have an entire room dedicated to all of it. And it's in shambles right now. So I'm going to make a whole video of just, like, redoing it. So, like, lots of time lapses and all sorts of me getting
Which-
frustrated.
It's kind of like you would be doing this anyways to have a movie room.
So why have fun? You know, might as well
So-
have fun while I do it.
Exactly, and create content out of it, which is
Exactly.
cool. I mean, because like all of us have like our hobbies or whatever,
Right.
but you just turned it into content as well as it still being your hobby, which I find
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's, I'll like, I actually have a notebook at home, like, full of ideas. Like, what stupid thing can I do that's geeky related and I think people would like? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you learn as you go along.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, and your movie room, by the way, is like.
Oh, you've seen it
so-
firsthand.
Yes, it's so overwhelming because it's like a little mini Blockbuster. So
I miss Blockbuster.
We
So
call
if you
it-
ever want
we
to
call
go
it
to
Meg Busters.
Blockbuster, you can go to
Meg
Meg's house.
Wait,
Meg,
what?
Meg Busters.
Meg Busters. That's awesome.
It's true. It's funny too because I watch her dog sometimes. Like if she can't bring her to the camp that she's at, which she's so cute. Her dog's so cute. But
This is where you would flash her photo.
yeah, you just edit a photo in.
The dog's just like
Luke.
jumping across the street.
I'll just put it over me and Will right now.
Yeah, so there was this one time I took a film class last semester and I needed to watch this one specific movie.
It was Gone Girl, right?
Yeah, it was Gone Girl, and I was like, Meg, definitely. I was like, I'm dog sitting your dog this weekend. Do you have Gone Girl? She was like, yeah, I have Gone Girl. So I'm like in her
Do you
basement.
think I don't have Gone Girl?
Like,
Yeah, I know.
She's literally just going like,
Yeah,
She
I'm,
should
like,
know
sitting
not to
there.
doubt you.
right.
Yeah, but I had to like literally search through this basement. But there's so many movies, and it's awesome. It really is. But like, I'm not a movie collector, so I just go to her house, invade, and steal.
Everybody does. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, so you also, besides your Meg the Geek, you also work on a podcast of your own.
I do, yes. I have been a part of one podcast for 5 months now, and I'm also recently joined another podcast. The main one I'm at is called Squawking Dead. So pretty much after each episode of Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, there's a show called Talking Dead where they kind of recap what happened in that night's episode. We take it one step further. We analyze theories. We get into like why did said character do what they did, and all that sort of stuff. And we do giveaways and such. At Walker Stalker Atlanta, which I won't really talk about that event. We actually had a table there, so we like got to vend. We got to meet like some of the fans, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I recently joined on with my friend Chris for BMNY Deadcast. Right now, he does mostly the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead stuff, but he's also branching out into horror. So we're trying to get more horror celebrities out there. So like at this event we were at a few months ago, Camp Merrimack, we got to interview some of the actors from the show. And just last week, we got to interview Cooper Andrews from Walking Dead and Shazam,
Wow.
which that was That was amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
That was really fun.
Yeah, no, I bet. And I know The Walking Dead, there's not a lot of fans that I know of that still watch it. I know some people said, like, I used to watch it and then I stopped after a certain season and whatever. And, like, you guys, like, continue on and keep going with it and everything. Do you think that there's still, like, a market for The Walking Dead?
Yeah. I mean, it did definitely go down. I mean, some people say just one specific season was bad. I think it was just a steady decline.
Mm-hmm.
But since a certain, they had a new showrunner last season.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, it's been picking up. And this season, they're killing it. They're, like, 6 episodes in. And they're now saying that, like, it's one of the most influential shows of the decade.
Wow.
So it's like right up there with Arrow. So I mean that says something when you have a show that's lasted this long, that dipped and came back, and can still say that.
I feel like a lot of them don't come back after the dip.
Right. It's like they usually jump the shark or something.
Yeah.
And
then it's just over with after that. But I have known, like, a lot of people do say, like, oh, I stopped watching after season whatever, because I am one of those people. I stopped watching after 7. But I know also
I
a
know
lot
what
of people.
scene you're referring to too.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people who've been, like, trying to get me to watch it again, and they're like, nah, it's good again. Like,
Yes.
it got good again. So it's not like just, and also you see the market firsthand too, because those conventions, like the Walker Stalker cons, like, they're made for Walking Dead fans.
Correct.
It's not like a convention like not knocking Comic-Con, but Comic-Con covers everything.
Right.
But not everything has its own convention that travels to
Right.
multiple states. So
And like somebody said to me at New York Comic Con this year that San Diego has more of the entertainment aspect, while New York has more of the comic aspect, which is absolutely true.
yeah, I think so too.
I would love to get to San Diego one day, because I feel like that's really where I would, like, thrive the most.
Yeah, I mean, well, Walking Dead did start as a comic, so, like, I think the
Right.
market's still there for both.
Oh yeah, like Skybound has, which is Robert Kirkman's company. They have a booth that sells out all their merch every year. It never fails.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to get into conventions more, because just, like, chatting with you beforehand, like Will was just shocked that Christmas Con was a thing.
Like,
Oh my
how many,
God.
like, conventions are there? Like, something con?
Well, before
Oh,
we get
God.
into Christmas Con, why don't you, like, walk us through, like, I know this could be a very long answer, but, like, just this year, where have you gone?
How much time do we have?
Oh, we got time.
However long you need to answer the question.
Because I
Okay,
genuinely want to
so-
know, because I know you find different ones and,
I
like,
do.
cool ones, like
I
niche
do.
ones.
I
you know?
travel, like, all over, up and down the East Coast. This past weekend I was at Christmas Con, and I think that was my 8th or 9th of the year. And then I have one coming up for New Year's Eve, actually, called Pop Rock and Horror New Year's Eve. I may have messed that title up a little bit, but it's a cool way to ring in the new year. Oh God, we got Christmas Con, we have obviously Comic Con, Walker Stalker, Monster Mania, Wizard World, Keystone Comic Con, which is like a knockoff of Comic Con. Oh, there's so many more I want to go to. Like, I want to go to Ace next year, which they travel also, but they have, like, the Marvel guys and girls. But yeah, I can go on and on this.
Yeah.
So,
Well-
what's the furthest you've traveled for one of these conventions?
Georgia.
Yeah.
And which one was that for?
That was for Camp Merrimack and Walker Stalker Atlanta.
Okay.
Wait, so what's Camp Merrimack?
So it's actually run by my friend Oscar, who we were on a panel together at Comic Con. Sort of a charity event. So they have not like the big name. Well, they kind of had some big names, but it's all Walking Dead related. So they have that. You get to just eat. You get to meet your celebrities. You get to take pictures with them, and then there's, like, vendors there. So it's very, like, a very small convention. They're just starting out. They only had 2 events this year, and then their next one is Memorial Day weekend of next year. And they've been announcing guests left and right, because something happened with a convention, which I don't want to talk negative on anything, but something happened to a convention where celebrities are done with, and so now that's why Camp Merrimack is kind of taking over and inviting all of the guests who were burned, let's just say.
Gotcha. Some convention tea.
Convention too.
Oh, it's
I love
big.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. But
There's tea everywhere you go.
yeah,
Spill it.
I know.
Like, how was it being on, like, one of the panels? Like, you said you were on, like, one of the panels for...
Yes, New York Comic Con.
Yeah, so, like, what's that like? Like,
Amazing. That's the only word.
is there, like, a large, like, showing of, like, people that just come in, just, like...
Yeah, so have you ever been to a convention before? I won't roast you. I promise.
Well, no.
Will's just like hesitant to answer anything right
I
now.
know.
I'm just gonna get grilled.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I promise.
Your mom's gonna love this episode.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Finally.
I found a new fan.
Give him what he needs."
Yeah.
But no, I've never been to a convention,
Okay.
so like I don't really know like what the whole experience is like.
Okay, so at a convention like Comic-Con, like we're saying,
Yeah, I
there's
know Comic-Con's
everything.
like huge.
Right, so you got everything from comics to movies to TV shows, and then they have panels. Some are about cosplay, some are about your favorite shows, some are about like there was a Power Ranger reunion panel, which I think I attended that one. I don't remember, but ours was talking about, it was like a fan-driven Walking Dead one. So we had some people from the show, and then we had a couple of us podcasters. So it was a good blend of everyone, and it was a packed house. Like there was not a single free seat.
So like how many like seats are there in like one of the
It depends. There's smaller rooms, and then they get bigger and bigger, and then there's a main stage where that's where like Ryan Reynolds made a surprise appearance. Margot Robbie was there. So that's where like the big celebrities go. And then we were in not the smallest room, but not the biggest. But there was
like a middle?
There's probably about 200 seats in ours,
Okay.
and it was packed.
That must have been awesome just to be at
was.
New York Comic Con and have a sold out panel.
Like it was all free, so as long as you had a ticket to the event, you can get in.
But like the fact that
Yeah.
200 people showed up though.
We had the Comic-Con backdrop behind us, and then every now and then, like, we had a guy film, like, when you go to a concert and if you're like in the nosebleeds and you can see like the monitor, so we had a guy filming us that people can see in the back. So every now and then I kind of like lean over and take a peek, and it was just so surreal seeing like just like my face on that big screen.
That's cool.
And we actually filmed it. I'm currently editing our copy of it now, so that'll be out this month hopefully.
Yeah,
Nice.
subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see.
Meg the Geek,
Yes.
subscribe.
Yes.
Little
Yeah.
Like and
Little
subscribe
plug.
for more
Little
content.
plug.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, but I think one of the biggest things that people might want to know is how do you get the connection to even get a panel at?
Well, it all started after I made Meg the Geek. I started following some accounts, and then through using hashtags, so marketing right there.
Yes.
Using hashtags, I started this one Squawking Dead actually started following me, and they were like, "Hey, we like your videos, we like your tweets. Why don't you come on for a guest spot?" I had never done a podcast in my life. I tried to do a podcast a couple years ago, which actually Luke was on it.
Ayo.
Yeah, which that kind of crashed and burned. So I'd never really like done like a guest spot of anything. So I was like, all right. I went out, bought a microphone, bought good headphones, and I did it. And they never kicked me out since.
That's good.
So I'm doing something
It's
right.
always a good rating.
That's a good way to get a job. They
right?
didn't kick me out
They
after
didn't-
my
I
guest spot.
didn't get fired yet.
I didn't get fired. I quit every episode. Like they'll say something, I'm like, that's it. I quit.
Yeah.
But I always come back. So they haven't fired me yet.
Yeah.
Hey
but
guys, I quit.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Oh,
I
thank
think
God.
I started a new trend here. And I think Will's gonna be the one to quit.
Yeah, we'll quit.
Yeah.
But through that, there's like 6 of us, but maybe 3 or 4 of us are always on the show.
Mhm.
And this one guy who's on the show, Chris, he has his own, which is the BMNY Deadcast. And he starts getting more celebrity interviews, and he won the panel slot. So he called me up over the summer. He's like, "I want you on this panel with me." And I was like, "What?" Like, say that again?
Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
And it just blew up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I first heard about it, I was like, "Damn, look at Meg!
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
look at Meg, New York Comic Con."
All right.
Like, that's
all right.
awesome.
You two and you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's so cool because like I said before, you took your hobby and turned it into something that is not just you watch, but you get something out of it. Like
Right.
you're not only like a fan of The Walking Dead, but you're part of the community. Like
Yes.
you're more than just like the average fan, no offense, that just goes to Walker Stalker
No.
Con. Like you were there as a person who is like known to Walking Dead fans. And that's
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I can like I like feel Will's senses. He just really wants to know what this Christmas con was.
yeah,
I
no,
know,
he
I
needs to
believe.
know.
Like, I feel the
like,
steam coming out of his
It's
ears.
the tension
building
right now.
up.
The
Yeah.
tension right now.
All
I
right,
have
go
to
ahead,
keep on
Will.
drinking my water. So
Yeah.
like-
Ask the question. Go ahead.
She's
So
telling
what's-
you. She's telling you how to run your own podcast. I love this episode.
I do. So what is it like going to like Christmas con? Like explain it. Explain it for the Christmas people.
What's it like going to?
What's it like going to Christmas con? Is it really Christmassy?
Did you just ask if Christmas Con is Christmassy?
No, it's more of an Easter theme.
Okay, so Will's halls are about to be decked.
I might just have to quit now.
You're done.
My chest.
We're replacing you with Meg. Goodbye.
She might quit though every episode, so you might be back.
I might come back like at like the end.
Yeah.
Guest star. Anyway, please tell him.
Okay, so
Elaborate.
So Christmas Con was created by 4 girls that I found out they actually met over a Spice Girls concert. And they all love Hallmark movies, and they realized there wasn't really a market for this. So they did the paperwork, they did the stuff. Well, I don't know the mumbo jumbo terminology, but they did stuff. And they got started getting celebrities to sign on for it. Tickets were selling really well. Then last minute, Hallmark became a sponsor. It blew up to the point the fire marshal was there on Sunday, because they hit capacity. But it was a Christmas wonderland. There was vendors. There was like free cider. There was Hallmark panels. You got to meet celebrities, everything from Chad Michael Murray, Danica McKellar, Cameron Matheson, Melissa Joan Hart.
We love Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
We do love it.
We love
We
that.
love.
Lacey Chabert and Jonathan Bennett. So, you know, Mean Girls, Gretchen Wieners.
His hair looks sexy pushed back. Just saying.
Still to this day, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see, still to this day, it looks sexy. And then Damien from Mean Girls made a surprise appearance. So I got to meet him.
He doesn't even go there.
Yep. So it's actually, I posted that picture too. It was, then there's a giant tree. We got to watch the tree lighting experience. They actually had snow falling. Yeah.
This
Wow.
sounds wonderful.
Wow.
It was the most wonderful
Sounds
time
like
of
a
the year.
winter wonderland.
Wow. You're going to have to take your girlfriend next year when she listens to this podcast.
Shh, do not even tell her.
Well,
Well,
we're
she's
gonna
gonna
tell her as
listen.
soon as we're done
Yeah.
podcasting. No, I just think it's like amazing because like Hallmark movies are just like not a meme because that's not the right word, but like everybody's just like, oh, it's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
it's
it's just
either
Like, you
another
know
Hallmark
what's
either-
going to
movie.
happen.
it's either overly dramatic or Christmas. Like
Yeah.
it's one or the other. And then Hallmark sponsors this event.
Yeah.
And now there's just a whole Christmas convention.
And now, like,
That's awesome.
they're coming back next year. It's going to be bigger. They're thinking of more cities.
Okay.
And, like, they started asking, like, who do you want to see? So we all started throwing names in.
Tim Allen. He is Christmas.
Wow. that-
No.
But he's a Hallmark
Yeah.
character.
He's in so many Christmas
Oh, no,
movies.
I'm not saying no to that. I'm saying they wouldn't. There's no way they'd get him. They
Bet.
want, like, Hallmark celebrities.
Because they're the sponsor. That's why. Oh.
That's true.
I just watched
Burn.
Christmas with the Cranks
I
yesterday.
love
That's why I
Oh,
thought
God,
of that.
that's so good.
know,
It's, like,
right?
one of my favorite. Except
Yeah.
I cry. You
Yeah.
Like, towards the end when they go to the neighbors across the street.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're, like,
Christmas
getting teary
movies.
just thinking about
Christmas
this.
movies.
I just really like the lack of hesitation from your brain to Tim Allen.
I know.
What about Will Ferrell? Like any
John
like,
Cena's
I-
my
Tim
favorite
Allen
Christmas
literally
movie
played
ever.
Santa Claus in 3 movies. How do you get more Christmas than that?
Elf.
I mean, as
But
long
that
as
was one movie.
3.
3 is bigger than 1. I'm
And
not
he
good
was
at
in
math, but
Christmas
I
with
know
the
that.
Cranks too. So that's
I
like
mean-
So
multiple.
4.
as
Okay,
long as they could
sorry.
get John Cena on there for like a musical appearance to just
Oh, just sing Last Christmas.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
That would be
Man,
amazing.
I love that.
I
love
almost
that song.
watched
That's a
that the other
Daddy's
day,
Home 2
too.
reference if you haven't seen it. I mean, I think.
Well, then in
Spoiler.
that case, we need Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Like-
yes. Yeah.
Christmas Con, if you're listening,
We need Daddy's Home.
we need Daddy's Home
We need
panel.
Daddy's Home.
Yes.
We need
Let's
that.
do it.
We do.
Yeah.
Instead of a Hallmark one, let's just have a Christmas movie one.
Yes.
Awesome.
yes.
It's Christmas time.
Did
It's the
did I
mics.
not-
We're just like in the mood to
The
just
mic.
break
I'm just
out
Did
of
I
I'm
the
not
in the
say
mood.
karaoke hour at the beginning
You
of the
did.
show?
It
You
is.
did.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. So that's Christmas Con, Will. Are,
Yeah,
Are you
Will-
satisfied? Do you have
Will,
any more
do you know now?
questions?
I'm oversatisfied now.
Look, I will show you pictures after the show. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's excited.
There's one picture I purposely avoided posting because Cassie would end our friendship over this.
Yeah, you're right. I know exactly what you're referring to.
Kung
I-
Kung.
Okay, so
Oh,
can
I'm not-
can
I
I
didn't
say
even
what it
tell-
is? Can
I
say
didn't
what
even
it is?
tell you what I did in said photo.
Oh no.
Oh, so you don't even know.
Oh.
She knows
no,
who it's
c-
with.
I know who it's with. I know it's with Chad Michael Murray.
Right.
Okay. So one of my favorite shows of all time is One Tree Hill. So that is just first of all important to me because Chad Michael Murray, yes. Anyway, so she sends me a picture of him while she's like in front of him, like he's signing something for her. And my first question, I don't know why, what does he smell like?
Do you know how many times I got asked that question over the weekend?
I need to
Just
know.
by Cassie though.
No.
No, not even just by Cassie. Like anybody that found out I met him, they're like, "What does he smell like?"
It's an important question.
I think we're
have-
missing something.
I have smelled 2 celebrities in my lifetime, and I need to know what this one smells like.
You just like go up to him and just like.
Be like, ready?
So
Be
that is
like,
why Cassie
it's
doesn't
nice
meet
to meet
celebrities.
you.
Oh, you smell so good.
That's not exactly what it's like. But male celebrities tend to
Wait,
smell nice because
for-
of cologne.
For
And I wanna
any
know.
people listening, they're just gonna hear a really loud nose
snort.
grunt. So, just to give some directions, Will and
Oh
I
my
just
God.
sniffed each other's hands while shaking them, because that's what Cassie does when she meets celebrities.
That's not what I do.
I know Cassie's embarrassed and she's
Well,
not gonna.
but
No,
I
I don't-
feel
Her
like
I don't
cheeks are
go-
getting a little
Okay,
red.
okay, first of all, disclaimer, I don't go around sniffing celebrities. I'm just going to put that out
You're gonna
there.
do that at the Jonas Brothers concert, though, if you could.
I already know what...
she's already sniffed 1/3 of the Jonas
I know.
Brothers.
Yes, I know what Kevin smells like. Just because
So what does he smell like then?
he just smells like really like manly cologne, and just I can't describe it because I don't know what cologne it is, but like he walked past me and it's like in my memory. So like if I ever smell that cologne, I'm like, oh, that's Nick, or not Nick Jonas.
Ooh.
No, that's Kevin Jonas, you know. And then the other celebrity, you know, Jimmy Fallon, because I hugged him and like he was like in my space. So therefore, I do know what he smells like, but I can't describe him. So I just want to know if you can, in words, describe to me what Chad Michael Murray smells like.
If perfection had a scent, it would be that.
Mm.
We actually got to see his wife and kids. Now, you know, on his Instagram, he covers up his kid's face.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, I see 2 little kids run up that are literally mini versions of him.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, hang on. And this is happening right in front of me as I was at his booth. He's like, oh, hang on 1 second. And he starts like hugging, kissing his kids and talking about like seeing Santa later. Because Santa was there. I forgot to tell you
Well,
that.
it's
Will.
Christmas con. If
Yes.
there was no
I got
Santa,
a
I'd want my
picture-
money
I got a
back.
picture with Santa.
Was Rudolph there at least?
No.
Wow.
That's Rudolph's not Hallmark. Will.
Oh, I
Duh.
forgot. I forgot.
Duh.
Duh. But and then we saw his wife, and we wanted to like meet his wife because his wife is an actress also, but we didn't get to. But it was just like it was the cutest moment, just watching him be a dad and not like, you know, the Chad Michael Murray we know of, and he was just being himself at home,
Yeah.
surrounded by thousands of people.
Yeah. That's really
And
cool.
Christmas.
And I was as close to Will as I am right now. That was the distance between me and that moment.
Luke's just the table.
Luke is the table.
I'm very good at being inanimate objects. Yeah.
That's cool. I know. And that Chad Michael Murray. And then you well, okay, so the first
Cassie and Chad Michael Murray.
Sitting in a tree.
oh, I
She's
win.
okay with that.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Sorry, I am too.
But the first time I ever wanted like to kill you over meeting a celebrity when I wasn't there was Scott Patterson from Gilmore Girls.
Yes, at
Yes.
Keystone Comic Con.
Yes. Okay. So you invited me to that, but I couldn't go.
I did.
So Gilmore Girls is also one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's like that show that I can just throw on and just watch the episodes over and over again. So Scott Patterson, who plays Luke Danes, was at that, and
Yes.
Meg was like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet him," and I was just like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna kill you!" Like, not really. I'm not. There's no threat here. Please don't call the cops. But
If you don't see
Already
me back on the
dialed.
show anymore, you know why.
yeah. But so she went, whatever, and then my birthday happened to be a few weeks later, and she surprised me with an autograph. So nice. That was like one
Did
of
you
the best
smell the
presents.
autograph?
I didn't. It was framed. Maybe I'll.
There's no
Maybe later.
sense on it. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Man, that Sharpie's never smelled better.
I didn't. So I don't smell celebrities. But yeah. So thank you for that, by the way. That
You're
was
very
great.
welcome.
That was great.
I have to say there was a moment I was jealous too, because I grew up watching Power Rangers, and I feel like you've met like half the original team at various
I
conventions,
have. The only one I have not met is David Yost.
which he's mostly like California. Like he doesn't really
He-
leave.
He does some conventions on the East Coast, but it's far and few between.
Yeah.
I have the poster from both Power Ranger movies, so I know you and I have like a shared passion of this.
Well, that's actually like how we first met, because
yes.
on the project you mentioned before, the new Power Rangers movie was coming
that was
out.
the first episode you
Yeah,
were on. Yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about the other ones and the hype for the new one.
Mhm.
And then the person you worked with, Joe, was like, I know a guy that loves Power Rangers. And I was like,
Sign
that's
him
me.
up.
That's me.
I have the poster from, like I said, the both movies, and I have almost 4 out of 6 of the Rangers on the first poster, and I haven't started the second one yet.
That's so cool, though.
It was really fun.
I wouldn't even know what to say, because like I grew up watching them every single Saturday morning. Just,
I know.
just like they're real people. Like,
Well, see, when I was a kid, I was there when it premiered. 'Cause, I mean, I am a lot older than you. So I was watching it every single day back then before I started doing Saturday mornings, and just watching it as kids. It's so different than watching it as adults, because as adults we're like, oh, so that's how they did that.
Yeah.
Why is it so corny?
Especially us though, because like we went into like filmmaking and just
Right.
content creating, that like we learned how they did everything too.
The
but
miniature statues.
yeah. Will, has she met any celebrities you're jealous of?
I don't know.
Give us some other celebrities.
Yeah,
that
just
you've
like
met.
throw some random names out there. Well, because you've met like a majority of the Walking Dead cast.
Yeah, very good portion.
Yeah.
Let me think. Non-Walking Dead. A lot of Power Rangers. Like we said, Chad Michael Murray, Nolan North, and Troy Baker from like the Uncharted and Last of Us video games. Oh God, who else? I'm really trying to think. I'm suddenly having a brain fart. Well, like, what are you into? I might be able to answer.
I'm like
better
into,
that
like,
way.
sports.
Yeah, no, not happening there.
Stream sports.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I actually got kicked out of a meet and greet with somebody from This Is Us.
Really?
Really?
You got kicked out? Spill the tea, sis.
I need to know this. I need to know why.
I've only told a few people this story, actually.
She only said this isn't us, and then they're like, leave.
Yeah, that's definitely
So,
exactly how it happened.
So Christy Metz from the show, she was doing a book tour, and she came to my job. And we were supposed to work the event. We were supposed to film it, and we didn't get to film it. But my boss was like, "Here, I'm going to get you in anyway." I was like, "Okay." So I get backstage before her show. I actually got to meet her. I said, "Hi, how are you?" And I didn't realize that we weren't supposed to have our phones out. So I started to pull my phone out and ask for a picture. Meanwhile, there's photography there, and somebody, I'm not going to say who, grabbed the phone out of my hand, grabbed my hand, and yanked me out of there.
Oh.
And my friend who was the photographer, he's like, if you waited 5 more seconds, he's like, I would have taken a picture of you guys.
Oof.
Ooh.
So I had to sit the rest of the show outside.
That's horrible. They couldn't just been like, put your phone away.
No.
Yeah, they didn't even like give you like a warning. That's kind of like
no,
messed up.
no warning. They just
Dang.
yanked me out of there.
That's ruthless.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
at
And
your
you
own
worked
job.
there.
It was at my
You're
own job.
literally employed there.
You're at so many conventions
Yep.
like in Atlanta or about Christmas, and you're not getting kicked out there. But nah,
Nope.
when you're
Someone's just hired for the event, just yanking you out of your own job that like you work there.
Right. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I did get a free book out of it, so.
I mean, okay, so you didn't walk away empty-handed.
You
No.
can read now, but you don't have that picture. It's fine.
Well, actually, somebody did sneak a picture. Her and I are in the same picture,
Mhm.
but it's just not like
You're getting
not
your
like-
hand yanked at the same time.
about to be. It was like a second before
That's awesome.
Before the downfall.
the
Yeah.
downfall.
Yeah.
So like like those memes where it's like a freeze frame. It's like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
The record
That
scratch.
is literally it.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I'm wondering is, where do you want to take Meg the Geek? Because I know it's kind of just like you go with what you want to do, but like, what is your vision for it?
That's actually a really good question. I haven't really thought of like an end game for it. I just kind of want to just continue what I'm doing, and I'm the person. Usually, I'm the person where I see the end result, and then I figure out, okay, how am I going to get there? Whether it's for films, my job, like my career in general. But this, I actually don't have a game plan for it. I'm gonna kind of just see how it goes. I get inspiration from some people, like I got inspiration from BuzzFeed for an upcoming video. So I kind of just get inspiration from people, do my own thing, and then if I get an idea, I'll evolve it. I just want to keep continuing this for as long as I can, because I'm having a blast so far, and it's giving me opportunities that normally I would never have in life. So I just keep doing that and see where the road takes me.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I know that you said that you were pretty much like filming a video on your way here to like cross promote and everything.
Yes.
The queen of marketing over here.
Yes.
But yeah, no.
Bow down.
She's also going to be doing, the cross promotion for us as well. So if you, subscribe to her channel, you're going to see like the behind the scenes of what we do here. And then we're going to give, on our like social media and everything, more of like this and micro content. By the way, we're just to shout out, we're going to start doing some micro content on
We're
our
working
Instagram.
on it.
Yes.
We're working on it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have little snippets of that. But yeah, no, it's definitely a great platform to have. And
Yeah, like I have some ideas for like you guys. I know we said we would talk after the show, and I feel like between like what you guys do with me, I feel like the two of us, or the four of us, I should say, kind of get some really epic content out
yeah,
that
and
would benefit everyone really.
And that's the whole
Absolutely.
point of this too, is like each time somebody's on the show, like now we all work together. to an extent. I mean, obviously it's not like every day,
Right.
but I mean, like Sully, who we just dropped the episode today. This episode will be posted a little bit after this, but Sully comes by the office all the time now and hangs out with us, and we just bounce ideas off each other, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're also more than welcome to always come by.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And one more thing that I wanted to ask too was, can you just look at this camera here and just one more time tell people where they can find your stuff?
So, no, I'm kidding. So this one here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Meg the Geek, all one word. So MEGTHEGEEK.
And then your podcasts that you're on too.
I am also on Squawking Dead and BMNY Deadcast.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Just real quick, do you have any advice for us on how to, grow our pages or our podcast in general?
Hashtags are king.
Okay.
You don't want to use like silly hashtags. So whenever you start to type a hashtag on Instagram, you'll see how many times it's been used. You'll see maybe like fewer than 100, more than 1,000, stuff like that. Try to use ones that really get people's attention. Like if you have somebody that's like a filmmaker or something, you start using filmmaker related hashtags like filmmaker, director, producer, stuff like that. If you have a musician, band, like shout their name out. Just try to use ones that are related to the episode that you're working on, because that, and like obviously you want to use like podcast related hashtags like podcast life or something like that. Just really do research on hashtags that's really working. Don't overdo it on the hashtags, because then that, like, I know certain podcasts that overdo it and it just clogs your feed. So like I do all my hashtags in a separate comment instead of in my actual post. And then just keep making content that people want to see. So like that's why I love your channel, because whether there's so many different types of content creators out there, whether musician, filmmaker, like stupid stuff that I do, people
Not stupid.
Thank you. So
Nothing stupid.
Well,
We're not gonna get into that, but no, I don't want to see you knock yourself, because I think that what you do is just unique in a sense that literally everybody has a hobby. I mean, we all, like, he's obsessed with sports. Like, I mean, you're just obsessed with smells of celebrities and like
getting
Okay,
ideas on the toilet.
yeah, toilet.
I watched that
epiphanies.
episode.
Yeah, but what I mean is that like, not only do you just continue to enjoy it to the fullest, but you're finding more ways to enjoy it.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you've met so many actors from a show that you love that you do a podcast about. That sentence alone is just super cool. And like, it's just a different way of creating content. Like, because I mean, everybody like can just like, we make our videos. I'm not knocking us, but like, also this isn't directly like what we're focused on all the time. Meanwhile, like, you think about The Walking Dead because you're a fan,
Right.
but then you also cover it because it's partially your job.
Partially, yeah.
But like a job you enjoy doing. And I think that's we haven't had anybody on the show like that so far too, because that's like the whole YouTuber sphere of just like, there's just channels about TV shows or movies or just different cultures, and I think that's cool to represent it. So don't knock yourself.
See, can we hire him for like all inspirational talks?
Yeah.
Because that was just so uplifting right there.
We'll just hire him to follow us around and just like be nice to us.
I do that for free now.
When I get sad, I'm just gonna call him.
Yeah.
Like, Luke,
I am good at pep talks.
I in fact do that now.
there you go. You
Yeah,
need to have that on your business card.
I really do.
Just inspirational person.
Influencer.
Filmmaker,
I'm an
influencer,
influencer.
pep talker.
That went straight to my head. Thanks, Will.
So if his ego can't fit through the door, it's all Will's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is Will's fault.
Nah, I hate myself. We're good. Don't worry. Yeah.
If I could reach you, I would hit you right now, but I can't.
Ow.
Yes, you got thumped.
I just hit myself in the head with the mic. For all podcast listeners, I love you all.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry about that.
So if
one
your
for
speakers
you
are
who
blown, Luke will pay for any
No, he
damages.
won't. He doesn't have any
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, because I'm the only one right now that's actually listening to them speak, and like every time their voice gets really loud, it's like blowing out my eardrums, and I'm trying to keep my composure.
You're doing
But-
great.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headphone users beware.
I'll put that in the description.
That's all I have to say about that one.
Just this disclaimer across the bottom of the screen
Yes.
for YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. But we just want to thank you for coming down here, because you drove over an hour to come here.
Yes.
It's well
Shout out,
worth
Meg.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
This
Of
is
course.
I'm so used to interviewing people. I'm not used to being the interviewee.
That's what everybody's
Everyone
saying.
says that.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was so like I'm having a blast. I'm sad that it's ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't the last time you'll be on, though. It's
Oh,
just-
definitely not.
Yeah. This is just the beginning. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you again, Meg. And
Thank
then
you for
thank
having
you
me.
everybody for watching or listening, and we will see you soon.